Welcome back. Now, Nigerians are heading to the polls to elect a new president. Nearly 94 million voters are expected to cast their ballots in Africa's biggest democracy. President Muhammadu Buhari is not contesting the elections, having served the maximum presidential terms. Buhari has been blamed for the country's major challenges, including a struggling economy, massive debt and poverty. While these elections are seen as a possible turning point for the continent's largest economy. Now, voting has been marred by violence in the past, but to discuss this even further, I'm now joined by Nigerian Correspondent Tesem Akende. Tesem, thank you for your time and good afternoon from this side of the continent. Some have described the elections as tense. What do you see on the ground and what would inform this description of these elections?
Yes, indeed, Nigerians are excited to be participating in another year of elections. And you can see behind me here, so many voters in their thousands came out in the early hours of today to cast their ballots for who will actually become the next president, succeeding President Muhammadu Buhari, who, like you said, has served or will be serving has served 4 years in the past and will be completing another 4-year term, put together 8 years, and will be handing over by May, just a few months from now. This is what will give birth to actually who will become the next president of Nigeria, and it's happening across the country. I'm reporting from Jos in the country's northern region, and many people are actually excited to be participating in the exercise.
Tesem, would you say the elections have been peaceful? Would you say there hadn't been any reports of instability, or is the opposite actually the reality?
Yes, different stories from different positions, different states. Generally, here in Jos, where I've been, there's been some level of normalcy at different polling units. But yes, there have been, reports of malfunction of some of the election materials. The gadget which is being used is called the beavers. It has malfunctioned at some polling units. Yes, I can also report that there have been reports of thugs getting to some polling units in some parts of the country, precisely in Lagos. But generally, people have been out to vote. Some are actually because of the invasion by thugs and in some polling units somewhere in Lagos. Some have actually been disenfranchised. But yes, it has happened, and INEC would decide, the Electoral Commission would decide on what will actually happen in such cases. But generally, voting has happened, and although it's still ongoing here, counting of the ballots has commenced in some parts of the country, in Abuja, and in some parts of the country where voting actually started on time. It was delayed by some hours here in Jos, at this polling unit in Jos, where I'm reporting from. But generally, voting has happened. It has not happened in some places because of violence by thugs, generally, yes.
Yeah. Tesem, I mean, as you mentioned earlier on, I did make reference to the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari would not be contesting these elections, having almost reached the maximum period of his tenure as president. So who are then the main candidates vying for this top job?
Well, officially, the Electoral Commission has on the register 18 candidates, gunning for who will actually succeed President Muhammadu Buhari. But political analysts say it's a three-horse race, with the candidates of the ruling All Progressives Congress Party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, and Peter Obi, of the Labour Party. These three from the All Progressives Congress Party, APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party, according to political watchers here, are just, the likely contenders, among whom will actually bring out who would succeed Muhammadu Buhari as Nigeria's next president.
Yeah, and also talking about numbers, if we may, earlier on I mentioned that about 94 million registered voters have been counted for in Nigeria. Is this the case? Is that number accurate? Can you just take us through the numbers in terms of those registered to vote, those with, valid cards to vote, and how, of course, the commissions and the officials handling all the voting processes are handling these numbers?
Yes, over 90 million registered to vote or participate in this exercise and what's going on today. But about 5 to 6 million of those people who registered did not go to claim or collect their permanent voter cards, which is actually a requirement for voting at centers like this. So yes, over 90 million registered to vote, but not all went to collect their permanent voter cards from the Electoral Commission, the Independent National Electoral Commission, or INEC, to participate in the exercise, which is ongoing today.
And I mentioned the Independent National Election or the Electoral Commission earlier on, also INEC for pronunciation purposes, Tesem. How are they handling the numbers? Because there are some reports of delays in certain poll stations. Is this the case from where you stand?
Yes, just yesterday, the chairman of the commission, Professor Muhammadu Buhari, had a press conference where he also had other stakeholders like the police and, observers, all who are involved in the process today. Talking about how they are handling the process, they have assured that the votes of the people here will count. Together after voting, after the voting process, there will be a counting, after which there will be collation across the country, after which the commission will make official pronouncements of who the winners will be. So we can't preempt who those will be, but after this, it's a process-by-process situation. After this, there will be collation across the country, after which the commission will make official pronouncements of the results. That's the situation. In terms of security, we've had security agencies, security personnel going around. We've had some of them came here earlier, carrying out patrols, boosting the confidence of Nigerians, because we are a country with a history of political violence. So the commissioners assured that it's working very closely with the police and about 400,000 security personnel to ensure that the process is peaceful and the votes of the Nigerians count. It really counts. Yes.
Well, Tesem, I appreciate this update and your continued coverage of the Nigerian elections and also how the voting is going on right now. And I'm sure we'll be sure to talk to you again as soon as there are any other developments. Nigerian Correspondent Tesem Akende, thank you so much for your time. But still